This is a direct response to a video that I made a few weeks ago about returning your excess weight to the universe, losing weight. And in that video, I kind of flippantly but deliberately reduced it down to one simple concept, which is making the decision, making the choice which drives the action. So having made the decision, you're 90% of the way there. So I had a comment on the video. It said, and I quote, "This is impossible in today's world." You've got to be a bit cautious with your words, right? If you say something is impossible, that is a very, very powerful self-hypnotic statement. Yeah. So the implication was, look, on every street corner there's fast food. We are bombarded with images of all the wrong types of food. It's really, really cheap and easy to eat badly, and it's pretty hard and expensive to eat well, and so on and so forth. And I sympathize with that. I understand where you're coming from, but I completely disagree with that, okay? Circumstance is a given, yeah? So indeed, you might be walking down the street and you've got a fast food joint on one side, you've got a kebab place, you've got a donut store, and the donuts in the window are so enormous you can barely fit them in your mouth. So how can you defend yourself against this nonsense? And for me, this is all down to your world view. Yeah, we choose our response based around our underlying principles of how we think the world works and what is good for us and what is bad for us. So for me personally, when it comes to things like eating well, I'm kind of thinking about what is in my best interest, what is right and what is wrong. What does my moral compass say? How do I honor myself? You know, not perfectly, but kind of reasonably well given the day-to-day demands of life. Most people relate more to pain than to pleasure. Pain tends to trigger us, and then, you know, if there's no pain, then we'll go towards pleasure, but pain seems to be the one that we run away from. So for me, I tend to find meaning in the fact that there is something bad about the stuff which is like bombarding me with information. So, okay, you might see the picture of the beautifully sliced piece of pizza dripping in cheese and pepperoni. For me, what I do is I tell myself how disgustingly manipulative that story is, and that it does not represent the truth, and that the sugar is bad for me, you know. So if you want to find a way that you will instantly, on a knee-jerk basis, reject this nonsense, then you need to arm yourself with a better set of worldview. So maybe go buy yourself a book, you know, invest in a book on the history of sugar, on the history of the food industry, on understanding that the food is designed, processed food is designed to trigger the endorphins in your body based around salt, sugar, and fat, yeah? And the consequences of that on our body, maybe you can do that. For me, I'm a photographer. One of the things that I learned when I was very, very early on in the journey of photography is that the pictures that we have of food, if you ate what is on the photo, it would poison you. Yeah, that those photos, if they've been professionally done, there is no way in the world that you could eat that because it's been squirted with gloop and it's been made to look in a certain way, and the entirety of it is a lie. So that might be useful, you know, because then you are creating a pain response to a manipulative advertising campaign. So at the back of your mind, you're already going, yuck. That can be one way. If you need a sort of a pleasure response as well, maybe there's something in there. Like for me, I've got a pain and pleasure one, which is, okay, so in a few months' time, it's going to be really, really hot. I'm going back out to the desert again, and I'm going to do you some beautiful videos from the wild desert. And it's going to be hot. It's going to be in American degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to be about 110, maybe 115. If I'm lucky, it might be 105, so I'm going to be getting up really early in the morning, and I'm going to be going out whilst it's still tolerable and trying to do these videos. Now, if I've got too much weight around my belly, I'm going to suffer. So for me, I've got that. I can get to the point of I might die from heat exhaustion if I don't lose weight and be fit and well with lots of stamina, blah-de-blah-de-blah, yeah? So I've created myself a story. And similarly, the pleasure side of it can be, and look how wonderful the experience will be if I am at a right weight. So you know, that's just my story. But I'm sure you can find an equivalent that triggers an emotional response. That's the important thing. It doesn't matter about your intellect. Who cares about your intellect? By the time your intellect kicks in, you're already fixated on the juicy burger, yeah, with the slice of cheese on the top and the ketchup and the mustard. And it doesn't matter what intellectually you say, because you're already there. You've seen the cherry cake with the big gloop of thick cream on the top, or whatever it may be, yeah? We are constantly surrounded by that, but circumstance, to hell with circumstance, yeah? If you change your world view, all of that falls away, yeah? So I go back to weight loss ultimately is a choice, yeah? Returning that weight to the universe. Let's not even talk about weight loss. If you talk about loss, it's something that you probably want to get back again. And if you lose your keys, you want to find them, yeah? Similarly, it's impossible to lose weight in today's society, because look at all of the fast food places on my street corner. It's a hypnotic suggestion, a very powerful hypnotic suggestion, which is telling yourself how hard it's going to be. Is that workable for you? If it's not, throw it away, yeah? Circumstances, to hell with circumstances. I make opportunities, you know? If we are deluding ourselves in something which is unworkable, that's because it's on some level we are winning from that conclusion, yeah? It means that we don't want it enough. We've decided to tolerate the pain and delude ourselves with the reasoning, yeah? So this little p on the top of the autonomic processes is self-justifying. It is selfing, and the entirety is a psychological illusion. Ta-da! Okay, I hope that's interesting. Cheers, bye.